So did you bring any oil? And before we get into that part of it, I like to build a foundation, just to like just start there. So we're going to build a foundation here. Let's open up with Ezekiel 2:7. So building a foundation before we get straight into that. Did you bring any oil? It'll make sense in the end. If you're watching in my classes, I'll build up to it. It'll make sense in the end. Lord's will. So let's go ahead and get into it. Come on.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 2 and verse 7. And thou shalt speak my words unto
what?
them. Thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are most rebellious.
So we read this and we say, most rebellious. These are the people that hasn't repented, that hasn't came in. No, some of the most rebellious people are the people that's already in here.
Very true.
Be rebellious. You be telling them, fix this, fix that, and they'll start tap dancing and dancing around the question and in their mind, I don't think I really need to do that, or he don't see it, or whatever. But the Lord says we have to speak his words. That's the key. Not our own, but his words. Read it one more time.
And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Because sometimes, leadership will give you correction, and if your mind's not right, you'll say, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand my situation. And you may have, get bitter behind some of the things that they say. But our job as leaders, we're supposed to tell you this, whether you're going to listen to it or not. And then what you do with it, that's up to you. But at least our job is to warn you. Now, let's go to Jeremiah 23 and 29. So we definitely got to tell you whether you listen or not, whether you take the correction or take the counsel. That's up to you. But we have to warn you. We have to use God's words. Come on.
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 29. Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord?
The Lord is like. Now, the word of the Lord is like fire. Now, we know that fire burns. Sometimes the words that come out, they cut. It hurts. You don't want to hear it because the good, hey, we showing them for the feast day. We doing this. We're having fun. Hey, everybody want to hear that. But when we tell people, hey, you got to watch what you eat. You got to lose weight, or you got to give up your lust of the world, the fornication that you may have been in, getting high, drinking, all. When you start saying those things that you don't want to give up, it's like fire to them sometimes, to some people, if they don't want to really repent and keep the commandments. Come on.
Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces?
Yeah, the word of the Lord is like fire. So the Lord is even telling you, is it not like that? So sometimes correction comes out and people just can't take it because inside of here, people still are rebellious. They still stuck in that sin. And a lot of times, those sins are things that you don't see every day, that when they're alone on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, those sins, that you think you get away with and it's hard to correct. It's like fire when it gets pointed out to you. All right. It really cuts. How do we know? Go to Hebrews 4 and 12. Hebrews 4 and 12.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
So the word of God is quick. It'll cut you quickly if you're in sin once it gets pointed out to you. And you're supposed to actually run to that correction. So if somebody's correcting you, and they're speaking the Lord's word, that's what you want to hear, because that correction is designed for what? To get you on the right track, because you don't want to die in your sins. That's the way you got to look at it. Man, I'm thankful y'all pointed that out right there. I got to really work on that because I don't want to die in my sin. Come on.
Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
So the Lord's work. So the word will cut you, but it's designed to do that because it's supposed to make you uncomfortable for you to change from whatever you're in. People get too comfortable. If you're comfortable in this truth, say what? Matthew 11, give me Matthew 11 and 6. Because if you're too comfortable, you're not growing. You got to grow. You got to grow past that old man, that old woman that you used to be before you came into the truth. So the word of the Lord that cut, that's a good thing, if you're in sin. Give me Matthew 11:6.
Matthew chapter 11 and verse 6. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me.
When that correction come out, the Lord says you're blessed if you can take that correction and you're not offended. A lot of people get offended. Another word for being offended, you're in your feelings and your emotions. And whenever you make decisions off your feelings and emotions, it's always going to end up being wrong. You just got to take that correction to get yourself right, right? Give me Ezekiel 33 and 31. Going back to Ezekiel. We're going to be there a little bit. Ezekiel 33, 31 through 33.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 31. And they come into thee as the people cometh.
Because the people, they'll come into the truth. Just as, like it says, the people come. They'll come into the truth. They'll come into the school. They'll even come to the campsite if they know where you're teaching at. Or they'll watch the videos. Come on.
And they sit before thee as my people. And they hear thy words.
And they hear the stuff that's coming out. Oh, you're an Israelite. You got to keep the commandments. The Bible's meant for you. Only our book. We hear that. We love that. Come on.
But they will not do them.
But now when it comes time to apply the things that they learn, they won't do it. Come on.
For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness.
But your heart, your mind goes after the things you want to do. I know it says to give up, fornication, this and that, but man, I just can't do it. I can't be alone. I can't wait for somebody. I'm just going to do it. They won't know. I'm going to continue to get high. They won't know. I'm going to continue to do your own lust. Come on.
And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song.
And you treat this truth as just like a lovely song. It's good to hear that and everything else, but as far as applying it, I ain't doing none of that. And these are people that will still be with us. That's what will here in body with us, but in spirit, they're not really with us. They just showing up. It's a lovely song to them. They're not really examining themselves, working on themselves to better themselves and to really come out of the sins that they're in. Come on.
Of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they will not do them.
And that's the key. Hearing the words, that's just the start. To hear the fact that Christ is a so-called black man, always will be, always was. He's not white like you see when you Google his image and things like that. When you hear the commandments is for us, that the Old Testament's not done away with. When you hear these things, that's good to hear it. But if you don't believe it, practice and teach it and do it, it's of naught. It's for nothing. The main thing is, what are you doing about what you're learning? Or are you just sitting here showing up, to the schools or listening online? Or you just is that as far as you're going with this? Because if that's as far as you're going, that's not going far enough. You have to actually apply and do what's in this Bible. Come on.
And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them.
Because it'll come to pass. The things that we say, the things that we teach, as long as when we read in I think it was Jeremiah 23, that we have to speak. Well, that was in Ezekiel 2 and 7. Sorry, we use God's word. Sorry, Ezekiel 2 and 7. As long as we're using God's words and not our own, you're going to know, hey, you know what a prophet was amongst us, because it's going to come to fruition, just like we say, according to the Bible, that it's going to come to. So, but you don't want to wait to that point and be like, dang, they was right. At that point, it's too late. You want to hear what your leadership is saying and start applying it now. Start working on those things right now. Now, let's go to Ezekiel again, but I want to go back. I want to go to chapter 3, and let's read verse 17. Ezekiel 3:17.
Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman.
A what?
A watchman.
So the Lord have made us a watchman. Now, you know what the problem is? Hold your hand. We're going to come right back to that. Hold your hand right there. Give me Titus 1 and 5. Here's the problem. You know what the problem is, officer?
What's the problem, sir?
As a camp leader, myself, right? Or as an officer, you, right?
Yes, sir.
Everything that we say to the men throughout the week, through our different social media platforms, the classes we do, so forth and so on, they listen to this and they be like, okay, that's good counsel. I'm going to take that. This is good. All throughout the week, all throughout the month. But the one time you say something that they don't agree with, then it's like, well, Bishop Nathaniel didn't say that. Just the officer here where I live at said that. You know what I'm saying? They don't say that out loud, but in their mind, that's what they're saying. Or that didn't come from the deacons. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And this happens at all the schools. There's somebody there. They listen to the officers, the leadership there, everything else. But when it's that one thing they correct them on or whatever, it's like, well, that's just from the local officer. That ain't the bishop. That ain't the deacon. But what you fail to realize is, read Titus 1 and 5.
Titus chapter 1 and verse 5. For this cause I left thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city.
Where at?
And ordain elders in every city.
So our leadership, when you look at your local officer or your local captain or whatever, that inside you be like, well, that's not the bishop, that's not the deacons. Don't you know that they was set up there, from the Most High? Promotion comes from the Lord. The Most High set those men there. Bishop approved those men being in that position. So by you disrespecting them, you're disrespecting our leadership. You're disrespecting the bishop that you claim to love so much. Oh, the stuff he's saying, that's not from the bishop. Matter of fact, I'm going to pop off an email and ask them and get the same answer, So, but the Lord has set up elders, leaders in every city. So I don't care if you're from a little city that nobody heard of in the middle of nowhere. If you have leadership there, their counsel is the counsel you should be following. As long as they're doing what? Speaking God's words. So if they're correcting you with the Bible, it's not like that scripture is going to magically disappear, if
Right.
when the bishop or a deacon or a captain give you the same, it's the same thing, Let's go back to where we was at in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 17.
Come on.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman.
So the Lord have made us watchmen. You got watchmen in every city. Every school got watchmen. Now, our job as a watchman is to do what? What's the key word in there? Watch. So we're looking out for you. Things that you don't see, we see from experience, from time in the truth, or just spiritual discernment. We could see things that you don't see. And we say, look, you got to work on this. Your spirit ain't right here, or whatever it is. Instead of fighting that, really examine yourself and say, you know what did that officer see that for him to say this about me? I need to really examine and see if there's, fix this thing. Even though I don't see it. I don't see an issue here, but they're saying something. And you know what? That ain't the first person to say this to me. Let me really examine that to see if I got to work on this. But a lot of people, not a lot, a remnant of people will hear that and be like, nah, he don't know what he's talking about. Nah, that ain't me. That's not that big of a deal. Or, instead of, if you don't believe what that leader's telling you to work on, you'll just say, it ain't that big of a deal. It ain't that serious. How many times, officer, when we go to camp, where women will say, the Lord really ain't going to do nothing just for me wearing pants.
Yeah.
They're like, it ain't that big. It's just pants.
Too often.
We hear that all the time. The thing is, if it's wrong, it's wrong. Period. Whether you think it's small or not, the Lord have rules and standards that we got to go by. Whether you think it's a big deal or not a big deal, we still got to go by those standards and don't make excuses for it. Did you finish that?
No, sir.
Read it from the top.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
From who?
From me.
So when we give you warning, it's not from us. It ain't no benefit from me or from the officers or for whatever school you're at. We don't get no benefit out of it. It's for your benefit. It comes from the Lord. You have to trust that. So one thing I learned early on is when the leaders over me, if they give me correction or direction, I don't even waste no time trying to figure out why he said it or is it wrong or is it right. I just go by that because I trust the fact that my leadership see things that I don't see. They have different experiences that I haven't had, or they've whatever it is. So if they saying this, let me just do it. Even though I may not see why that may work, I may have an opinion like we actually should do this. This might be better. But he want me to do it that way. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't even try to question that, because once you start questioning that, when does it end? Because if you question that decision, then you'll start questioning everything that they say. But there's a reason why that person's over you. It was set up by the Lord, and they're watchmen. All right. Now give me Ezekiel 33, 1-7.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman.
As what?
For their watchman.
So they set this man as their watchman.
If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people.
So if this watchman see a sword coming, and he says, oh, okay, let me send a warning and warn him, this sword is coming. And he warns them, come on.
Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning.
So if they hear this watchman blow the trumpet and they say, okay, he blew the trumpet, something's coming, but you know what? I got time. I don't need to do nothing right now.
If the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
That man or that woman that didn't pay attention to the warning that watchman gave, and you die from not paying attention, hey, that's on you. Your blood is going to be required. That's on you. Come on.
He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning.
Hey, you heard the correction, but you didn't take it as it's not that big of a deal. I got time. It is what it is. That's just a local officer. Come on.
His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
But the man or woman that actually heard that, let me go ahead and hide out or prepare or be ready, whatever it is, that person right there, read it again.
But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
So if you take warning, you're going to deliver your soul. Read on.
But if the watchman see the sword come.
So now we had two different scenarios, right? The watchman saw it and warned them because that was his job. That one person didn't listen. It was like, I hear it, but I ain't doing nothing about it. That person died. That's on their own blood was required. The other person that heard it, that was able to be safe, they delivered their soul because they listened to the counsel of the watchman. They heard the trumpet and was like, oh, let me get out of Dodge. All right. Now read on.
But if the watchman see the sword come.
Now the watchman was told, when you see this sword come, you need to blow the trumpet. But this watchman saw the sword coming, and what happened?
And blow not the trumpet.
I see them, but they're not going to really get to us. I see the issue, but that ain't going to really be no big deal, whatever. I'm just not going to say nothing, because they may not like me if I say something, so forth and so on, whatever thing pop up in your head. Come on.
And the people be not warned.
And because he didn't blow the trumpet, he didn't warn them, and they weren't warned. Come on.
If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
You see that? Because he didn't do his job, the Lord says, you know what? Yeah, these people had to pay, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay. Who's going to pay? The watchman, because he didn't watch. He didn't do his job. Come on.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me.
From who?
From me.
So when that local officer, tell you something that you need to work on this, you think, well, that's just a local officer. No, he's warning you. He's got that warning from the Most High to give to you. Hey, bro, I see you got this sin on you or this or that. Oh, what does he know? No, that comes from the Lord. And he has a job. You want to say something, officer?
Yes, sir.
Your mic ain't on.
Yes, sir. Because I like this, because what you're bringing out, because what this proves is we can't be individualites.
No.
This Bible wasn't meant for us to be studying on our own.
In your mama basement.
In your mama basement, in your mama house, in your own house, without having leadership guiding you through the scriptures. That leadership being the watchman that's watching for your soul. So all praise to the Most High for this.
You're absolutely right. And I have a video I'm going to show them in a second. Matter of fact, get that queued up. It's coming in a second. Because when you're an individualite or you studying this in your mama basement, you keyboard, gangster, you post stuff. But who's watching for you? Because if you by yourself, this is not designed to be by yourself. You need other eyes to see what you don't see for yourself, that you need to work on. And you have to understand that the job of the watchman, as a camp leader, as an officer, I have said things to people that I know they didn't want to hear, they didn't like. And I had to say things to people that I know that could cause them to be bitter. towards me that could cause us not to be close like we used to be or whatever it was. I've had to do that. And I've had to make that decision to say, you know what, whether you will hear or forbear, whether you like me or not, I have a job to do as a watchman. I got to tell you this. I have to. Because if I don't, that blood is on me. And listen, I'm not dying for you. That's just how it is. You know, I warn you, you know, that's just how it is. Because I believe in the same book, Ezekiel, I think it's 14:14. Give me that real quick.
Yes, sir.
Give me Ezekiel 14:14. See, it may sound to some people like, what you ain't gonna die for? No, I'm not dying for you. My job is to warn you. You know, now if I die in this truth, you know, trying to, you know, that's different. You know, I'm willing to go wherever the Lord send me. It is what it is. But I'm not going to die for you to be in a rebellious state so you can stay where you at. No, I'm not doing that. Watch this. Ezekiel 14:14.
Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls.
Now listen, Noah, Daniel, and Job, these men greater than me. They have books written about them in the Bible. I don't have nothing written about me in this Bible right here. And these men, as great as they were, the sacrifices they made, they could what?
They should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness.
So they could deliver their own mamas, their own brothers, their own sisters, their own family, their own cousins. They couldn't deliver nobody but their own selves. Come on.
Saith the Lord God.
See that? The Lord said that. So for me as a watchman, my job is to warn you, but you got to deliver your own soul. You got to actually make the changes. Whether you listen to what I'm saying or not. When I say me, I'm talking about leadership throughout all the different schools we have in IUIC. You're supposed to listen to your leadership. They have counsel for you. They see things you don't see. The Lord set that person up. Why, how he chose me to be in this position or you, I have no idea. But this is a position that we're in, and I'm going to do my job. Your job is to follow that counsel and apply it.
And I was just going to say that whole warning situation, that's like, remember when Katrina happened and the levees broke and stuff wasn't set up right? They was blaming the people that was supposed to be the ones keeping everybody safe. But when the warning goes out and people stay in their homes during hurricanes and stuff like that, that blood is off of everybody else's hand. It's on you.
It's on you at that point. Let's go to Luke 12.
Yes, sir.
Luke 12. You might be wondering, what this got to do with bringing oil? Well, you know, like I said, I like to lay a foundation before I get to it, right? I don't like to throw the fastball straight down the plate. I throw curveballs here or there a little bit. You know, I want to build up to it. All right, give me Luke 12, 37 through 40.
The book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 37. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat.
So the Lord is saying, blessed is that servant that when he comes, he's going to find them watching. You know what that means? He's going to find that person prepared. They didn't wait to the last minute. They wasn't slothful. They knew that he was coming. So what did they do? They made preparation prior to him coming. So when he came, they was ready. Now we getting into, you know, did you bring any oil? Here you're starting to get to there a little bit. We getting to it. Where you at?
And will come forth to serve them. Verse 38. And if he shall come the second watch, or come in the third watch.
Because we don't know. If he's coming the first watch, the second, third, we don't know. But as a watchman, you're supposed to be, once you're reading and studying this Bible, you're supposed to see the things as they're approaching. The day is getting closer and closer and closer. The evils of this world is getting crazy. I need to make sure I got myself right. Come on.
And find them so. Blessed are those servants. And this know, that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to be broken through.
And you know, that only makes sense because if you ever had your house broken into, right? Or if somebody ever broke into your car, you know, if you knew that person was coming at that exact time, you would have made sure you was there so they didn't break in your house or your car. Well, you know, it don't work like that when it comes to the Lord. We don't know when he's coming. And that's by design. We need to be prepared for when he do come. You know, because if you knew exactly, like, you know what, he's coming this date, this time, this hour, what you going to do? Man, you're going to live your life. You're going to do your thing. You're going to have fun. And you're going to wait till that very day to say, okay, you know what? Let me put the fringes on my shirt down. Let me go and do this. Lord, I repent. I'm done. You're going to wait till the last minute. Because Israel like to procrastinate. Israel like to be slothful. So the Lord's like, no, I'm not telling you what hour I'm coming. Just be a watchman. So now you have watchmen that watch over you, but then you also have to be a watchman for yourself. You have to see, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to fix? What do I need to clean up that since they're not with me 24/7 every day. There's things that I could hide or maybe be hiding. Let me work on these things. Let me clean this up. So when the Lord do come, I'm good. All right. Now finish that. We're going all the way to 40.
Verse 40. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not.
And this goes into, do you have any oil in your lamp? Are you preparing for when he come? Because to have oil, that means that you are prepared because you know he's coming. You have done the works. You have repented. You're keeping the commandments. And you don't have no secret sins that you're still dabbling with. That's having oil. Did you bring any? We're going to get into that parable in a second, but I want to show this video. This is a quick little 2-minute video, right? And don't pay attention to the Edomites, that's in here. I just want to show this video because when you think about a watchman, they're usually, we think of the traditional watchman, they would sit in a tower, right? And they would look over to see, just like we read earlier in Ezekiel 33, right? When they see the sword coming, well, you're not going to see the sword coming from standing right here. They're usually up in the tower up high to see what enemy's coming or who's coming or whatever. They're looking up high. So I want to give you an example of what it's like to look on high versus looking on the ground. I want you to just pay attention to this video. All right? Go ahead and play it. We're going to play all the way up to like 2 minutes, I want to say. Just 1 second. We got to put the disclaimer thing on there because this is for educational purposes only, right? This is for educational purposes only. So we playing this. All right? We do not own the video. This is the Grand Canyon. If you've never been, this is the Grand Canyon. Just watch this. You see that tower? So I want y'all to see as these people are walking. You see what they see? I want y'all to just put a snapshot in your head. You see what they see? All right, you see this from the walking from the ground floor. You see what they're able to see, right? That's the tower. Now look at the view from the tower. You see the view from the tower? Now this is back on the ground. From the tower. All right. Now look at the ground again. Look what they see. See, at first I was like, man, they can see out there. Go ahead and stop it. And I want you to go to 1 minute and 3 seconds. Just go to 1 minute and 3 seconds. I want them to see just where it's at 1 minute and 3 seconds. Minute and 3 seconds. Minute and 3. Yeah, play it and stop it so it's a little clearer. Okay, stop. All right, y'all see that view right there? That view is from the tower. Now I want you to go to 1 minute and 43 seconds. So I want y'all to see that. You see that view right there? That's from the tower. Yep. Play it once, quick second. Stop. Now you see that view from the ground? What do you notice is different? How far can they see right there from the ground? They're right next to the Grand Canyon. And they can't see but, what, maybe a couple hundred yards or so in each direction? You see that? Now go back to a minute and 3 one more second, one more time. Minute and 3, minute and 4, right around there. Okay, that's good right there. Now you see the difference of the view from the tower? Okay, you can take this off now. Why did I do that? Here's the reason why I did that. I want y'all to see that. I wanted to give you a visual. Because when you come into this truth, all you can see is what they saw from the ground floor. Yeah, you see a little bit ahead of you, a couple hundred yards. But a watchman that's been in this truth, that's seen things, they're actually elevated. They got an advantage point. They see from on high things you just cannot see. So the fight against them and say, "Well, why you see that? You don't see that. You don't understand my situation, or it's complicated." No, we've seen it all before. You're not the first one to come in with an unbelieving spouse. You're not the first one to come in still smoking weed. You're not the first one to come in that's in fornication. You're not the first one. And unfortunately, you won't be the last. But you think you just don't know how hard. I just can't stop. I've been smoking my whole life. I've been doing this. You just don't get it. No, we get it. Some of us came from that lifestyle, or whatever lifestyle that you was in. Some of us came from it. We're up high. We see things. We see traps. All that type of stuff you don't see as a watchman. So it's your job to say, you know what? I don't see it. I don't get it. But the Lord put this man over me. So I need to follow and listen to his counsel. I got to trust that. That's the mindset you got to have. That's why I want to show that video, because it actually puts it in perspective. And there's other ones I could have put, but it puts it in perspective what you see at the ground floor versus what the watchmen see that's on high, that see up things that you just can't see. So when that watchman tells you, you need to work on this, and you say, I don't get it, I don't understand, just do it. It'll be revealed to you later. Just do it. Just work on it. That is the second step from being not just a hearer of the word, but a doer. I hear what you're saying. Okay, now let me do it. That's the most important part. Getting to the stage of being a doer. And not just saying, well, that's just a local officer. Right? You got to put some oil in your lamp. Let's go to Matthew 25. Matthew chapter 25, verse 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins,
Okay.
which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish.
So 5, half and half, 50-50. Now notice these are all people on equal playing field. 10 virgins. Nobody's more special than the other. But they knew that, you know what, that groom is coming. So I'm going to need some oil because that groom is going to come. In this particular case, need some oil for their lamp to get to that groom, whatever it is. So I need to make sure I have some oil. For me to get that oil, what must I do? It just don't spring up out of nowhere. I got to go buy it. I got to prepare, whatever it is. But I got to get this oil. Come on.
Then they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
So they took their lamps. Like, I got the lamp. I got time to get oil later. Right now, I'm going to do me. But don't worry, in time, I'll get my oil. I'll be ready. Come on.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
So why the bridegroom, they, waited, took a little time. Okay, let's all sleep. Let's, do what we do. Come on.
And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him.
Oh, it's at midnight. So, oh, shoot, he's ready now. I thought I had time to get some oil. Come on.
Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps.
Got their lamps ready. All of them got their lamps. It's okay. The groom's here. Okay, come on.
And the foolish said unto the wise.
To who?
Said unto the wise. Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out.
Well, see, now the foolish said, now I need some of this oil. I don't have none. Do you have some, that you can spare for me? That's going to be the same thing to the watchman, the people that's leading you, guiding you, that you're supposed to be trusting. When it's too late, you're gonna be like, oh, what was you saying I got to do again? So I can do that real quick because Christ is coming. The sky's cracked. What do I got to do? Hey, let's listen to what the wise said. Come on.
But the wise answered, saying, Not so,
Not so. Come on.
lest there be not enough for us and you.
Because I just got enough for me. Because as we read in Ezekiel 14:14, what did the Lord say? You can only deliver yourself. The oil that I got, this is my works. This is my effort. I can't give you my works and my effort. You got to put your own works and effort into this. You got to have your own oil. You can't take mine, my wife, my children. I wish I could guarantee we all all I can do is lead you and guide you, but the rest is up to you. You got to get your own oil. Come on.
But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves.
So since you didn't want to listen to that watchman at your school, that local officer or captain or whatever, the people you was getting advice from, Big Mama and them, you go get it from them. Because when I was trying to give you and told you where to get the oil at and how to prepare, you wasn't listening. So since you wasn't listening to me, the people you was listening to, go to TD Jakes now. Go to Creflo Dollar. Go to Juanita Bynum. Go to Joel Osteen. That's where you getting your oil from. Go there then. Because you didn't want to listen when I was right in front of you. Mm-hmm. You want to say something, officer? Oh, Steve Harvey. Go there.
Oh, goodness.
Wherever you want to get your oil from. But to get it from me at this point, it's too late. So the wise virgin said, not so. Read from there.
Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves.
Uh-huh.
And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And they went, and they that were ready went with him to the marriage.
So those that are ready, hey, well, I'm going straight to that marriage right there. I prepared. I got my oil. I listened to counsel. I applied it. I became a doer and not just a hearer of the word. Man, I'm good. I'm right here. Everything that I've been waiting on, everything I've been striving for, now it's right here, right in front of me. All right, come on.
And the door was shut.
The door was shut. Once that door is shut, there is no, let me get in now. No, that's too late. It's too late at that point. Come on.
Afterward came also the other virgins.
See, they went to Joel Osteen. They went to Steve Harvey. They went to all these other places to get their oil.
Saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not.
I don't know you because the oil that you got, that didn't come from me. That wasn't from me. You got that's your own doctrine. You know, oh, I can still do this. I can still do that. I can still fornicate. They won't know. I can have multiple wives, multiple hoes, I mean. Right. I could be wife number 4. That's your own oil right there. That didn't come from him.
They got corn oil.
Corn oil?
Yeah, rather than that pure oil.
Yeah, you got the... Yeah, you didn't get that olive oil. You got that man shortening or what? No, not shortening. What's the fake one? Margarine. You brought butter. That ain't even oil.
Margarine. Dang.
You brought margarine.
Goodness gracious. Wow.
Oh man, you brought margarine. It's supposed to be oil. You bringing butter.
Dang.
Come on.
Watch therefore.
Where you at? What verse you at?
Verse 13.
Verse 13. Here we go.
Watch therefore.
Do what?
Watch therefore.
See, you're supposed to listen to the watchmen because they see things from on high that you don't see, and you're supposed to be watching for your own soul as well. So do what?
Watch therefore. For ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
So that's why you got to bring oil, have it ready to go. See, those wise virgins, the minute that they heard that they have to have oil, that was the first thing that they did. They got oil. So I know I got this right here, so I'm ready to go. The others, what did they do? Give me a one word what the others did. I want y'all to tell me. Give me one word that the unwise did. One word. I'm gonna see who's in the spirit, who's paying attention. Oh, I said Audrey put lard. They brought lard. They brought Crisco.
I was thinking that one too.
That's right. That's right. They brought Crisco. I was trying to think of that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I couldn't think of it on the spot.
Me neither. You know. Give me one word that the unwise, that the unwise did or didn't do, whatever. What was it to describe what they was in? Describe what they was in. I know you're gonna say sin, That's it right there. That's what I wanted right
Yeah, I
there.
swear,
Rebecca, Judah, Israel. That's what I
Yeah,
wanted right
she's in
there.
the spirit.
That's exactly
All
what
Calvin
I wanted.
Baker,
They
in the spirit.
procrastinated. They procrastinated. A lot of us procrastinate.
Yeah.
I got time. I'll fix that. I'll get it right. And the truth is, we don't have time. All you have is this very second right now. Beyond this, you don't know what's going to happen. Who ever heard of an accident? You know, a lot of people die every day from a car accident or some type of accident, freak accident. Anything could happen to us. You can't sit there and say, I got time. I'll work on this. I'll get it right. No, you got today. Anything beyond this right here, we don't know. I remember in high school when I was learning how to drive. And I don't know I can't remember the exact stat, so don't quote me on this. But I think the stat was 75% of all accidents happen within 5 miles of your home.
I remember that.
I can't remember. I think it was like 75%, something like real high.
Yeah, it was a high number.
So you could think, hey, I'm close to home. I'm safe. No, most accidents happen within 5 miles of your home. Or it might be 1 mile. I can't remember what it was, but something like crazy like that.
And it's because they feel that way. And
You
so
get
their
comfortable.
guard
You let your
goes
guard down.
Yeah.
This is my neighborhood. I know this. I know these streets. I drive it all the time. What am I saying? You can get so comfortable. Hey, I've been coming on the side. You let your guard down. You know, you ain't growing. You ain't learning. I'll work on that. They keep telling me about my attitude. I get it. I'll work on it. You know, my spirit. I work on that. You know, I'm a little rebellious. I get it straight. I work on it. It ain't that big of a deal. I'm showing up on the Sabbath. You know, you procrastinate fixing yourself. You're not bringing no oil. You don't have no oil. So now when the Lord comes, it's like, oh, I know I was supposed to work on that. Let me go get that real quick. I know exactly where to get the oil from. And you may know exactly where to get it from. You're going to try to get it from the wise. And they're going to be like, look, I ain't got no extra for you. I tried to tell you then to get your oil. This is enough for me. It's too late at that point. Procrastinated. That's why I called this, did you bring any oil? Are you preparing? Are you procrastinating? Go ahead, officer.
Yeah, officer, and then you see it time and time again where you'll give a brother some oil, you'll give a brother some counsel to do certain things, and it's falling on deaf ears.
It's falling on deaf ears.
It falls on deaf ears until the Lord finally pulls that card, and now the brother has to bring account for it, the sister has to bring account for it, and now it's too late.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's too late, and now they dealing with, now they stressing because they gotta try to get some more, but you had all this time to line it up, but now you got to deal with it.
It's too late.
And on top of you having to deal with it, you have to now have
the shame of it too.
The shame of those words in your mind that, dang, they told me to do it. I knew I should have did it. But it's too late now.
Because what you're doing is you're gambling with your soul. You know, if you want to gamble with something, that's on you. But one thing you should never gamble with is your soul. You know, that the price is too high, you know, over minor things that you could have corrected. But pride, lust of the world, whatever it is, you stay stuck in your situation. And here's the thing, officer, and people think we're stupid. You're giving them the counsel that they need to better themselves. You're telling them, look, here's the medicine, work on this. And there's a certain look you get where you know that they're hearing you, but they ain't listening.
Right.
It's just, you can see it. You could just see the oil just falling off of them. Like, it ain't even like, okay, all right.
Dang.
Oh, yeah, that's what you can see. It's a look. You know the look I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a look where you say, I'm talking to you, and I know you're not listening to me at all. At all. But
They're in their mind, they're either cursing you out or telling you don't know nothing, They just gonna let it go in one ear and out the other.
Mm-hmm. I've been cussed out by just the eyes. You know, they ain't say nothing, but just, and I'm like, you cussing me out right now. I know. But as a watchman, I have to tell you that whether you listen it or not. My job is to blow that trumpet and warn you. What you do from that's on you.
But then when they need it, they come at you hard, like, "Hey, officer, can you help me with this?" Yeah. It's like, bro, I already told you
and
this.
Blowing
when you try to call them, they don't pick up, or I'll get back with you, or they send you a text, or you can't reach your brother or a sister. But when they need you, man, your phone work now.
Yeah, all of a sudden. And now we see you more. Like, what's going on?
Hey,
Because you need something. Because you want something, rather.
Let's go to Matthew 24, 35 through 51.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 35.
And we're going to go all the way to 51.
Heaven and earth shall pass away.
And we know this, right? We know that heaven and earth is going to pass away. The groom's coming. Christ is coming. Come on.
But my words shall not pass away.
But the words, his instructions, his commandments, his laws, all that's not going to pass away. We got to do it. Come on.
But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
Nobody knows when that's coming. That's why it's so important that once you find out the requirements, that you start doing that. Now, what's the requirements? Give me Deuteronomy 10, right? So we're coming right back to this, y'all. We're coming right back to this, okay? We're going to show you where's the oil at. Where do you get the oil at? Because it's requirements that we have to meet. Come on.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
He requires you to have oil. Now, here's the oil. Come on.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
Right? That's the oil right there. So he commanded us. That's the prerequisite, right? That's the requirement to make it to that chamber with him. All right? Now, let's go back to where we was.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37.
So since you know what the requirements are, since you know, and just in short, oil, right? You got to bring oil, which means you got to have works. You got to be a doer. You got to be keeping the commandments. You got to be following this, right? That's the works that we got to do. Come on.
Matthew 24:37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So just understand, just like it was with Noah, Noah was a watchman. He warned everybody for years upon years upon years upon years. You got to have some oil. Make sure you got oil. The groom's coming. Make sure you get oil. Do this, do that. They didn't listen. So the Lord is saying, just like Noah was warning everybody, as a watchman, he's blowing the trumpet. He says, in the last days, it's going to be the same way. Now, it's one thing we blow the trumpet to those outside of the school that don't know this. We try our best to wake them up. But we also blow the trumpet in here, and people still don't listen. Come on.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark.
So what did some of the people put on here? What they were doing? Procrastinating. Same thing right here, just in those same days. Procrastinating. Come on.
And knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in a field, and one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, and one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready.
Bring oil.
For in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh.
See, that's the thing. We don't know when he's coming, so you can't wait till the last minute. I remember when I first came to the truth, right? I was waiting till the last minute. I know y'all going to be able to relate to this. On Friday, preparing for the Sabbath day.
Yep.
I'd be getting off work or something like that, and I got T-minus 30 minutes. All right? And it seemed like that sun, during the sun is barely moving, but when it get closer to Sabbath day, the sun is doing this. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. The sun is literally just like going like this, and time is melting. It's like, man, I got to get some food. I got to get this. I got to go to the store, grab this. I got to gas up the car. And I remember like stopping the gas pump, like right when it's like I can't go another second. You know what I'm saying? Waiting till the last minute on the set. And I would guess what I would tell myself? I'm going to start my Sabbath prep on Thursday. You think I listened to myself? No, the next Friday, I was doing the same thing. Running it to... And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. I know y'all going to know. It's like Esau push a button and have the traffic lights stay on red, have traffic kicked up. And it's like, I ain't seen this many cars all week. Light, you stuck at the light. You contemplate, I'm just going to just make a right. I can turn on the red and then try to come back. Just anything you can to try to get to that store, whatever you need as quick as you can, because the sun is just flying down, you know. So I know, so I wasn't the only one.
No, you are not the only one.
In the beginning, you know, now I be trying to, I already got the routine. I already know what's up.
Already done.
Have I pushed the clock sometimes now? Yeah, I still have pushed the clock to, you know, things, you know, come up where you a little later. Yeah, but most of the time, nah, it's just like clockwork now. You know, we already, you know, got things lined up.
Right.
So the thing is, we can't be like that in this truth when it comes to our works, when it comes to bringing oil. We know what's required of us. So we have to be prepared, prepare Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and don't just wait to that final hour when the Lord comes or that final hour when the Sabbath hit. Prepare ahead of time. Come on.
Verse 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give him meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you.
So blessed is that person who have oil, because he already knew, she already knew what I had to have. She already knew what the requirement was when he come. Come on.
Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods.
And that's the goal. We want to be rulers. We want to make it to the kingdom. So if this is what it takes for me to make it to the kingdom, to bring oil, I'm going to have extra virgin oil. I'm going to have every oil I can bring. That's the right oil. All right, come on.
But, and if that
the Lord is not accepting no Crisco.
Right. You can't be like.
He's not accepting no Crisco, y'all.
Gotta be olive, huh?
He want that pure, extra virgin, untouched.
Right.
You know.
He ain't got ashy elbow. Remember you just put the Crisco on because you got ashy elbows or whatever? Oh, is that just me?
That was just you.
Oh,
we had the big tub of grease.
I didn't use that.
Yeah, we had the big tub of grease.
Yeah.
You know
We used to have
but
the big
we didn't
tub.
actually do no. So you and mama's cooking oil, rubbing it on your elbow.
That was when I'd be at my grandma's house. She had to either the Vaseline or the Crisco. You'd be like, bloop.
That's what I'm saying. So you
Now
was
rub
in
it on
there,
your elbow,
you was
baby.
dipping in the chicken grease. And
Damn.
get some mama's chicken grease, rubbing it on your elbow.
Hey, okay. Well, that was just me then. Never mind. I digress.
Yeah, you had to dip your hand in the chicken grease. The Lord ain't accepting chicken grease either, all right? He was real oil. Come on.
Verse 48. But and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in the day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and he shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Because see, when the Lord come, and if you ain't got no oil, you know that means you're not getting the kingdom. And he says it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That weeping and gnashing of teeth, yes, that's going to be from other nations. That's going to be our own people, stuff like that rejected this thing. But it's also going to be people there that knew better. You know what I mean? They knew they were supposed to keep the commandments. And that weeping and gnashing of teeth is going to be, that's going to be one hell of a punishment, because it's like all I had to do, I knew where to get the oil at. I knew what I had to bring, but I procrastinated. I didn't do it. Imagine having that mind state forever. Think about that. The type of mental anguish you're going to have. Like, I had the answer to the test. I knew what to do, but I just put off. I just did not correct my sins. I just did not become a doer. I have time, and it became a lovely song like we read earlier. This was just a lovely song to you, but you never fixed it, and you got wrapped up in your sin. You never corrected it. Now it's time to bring your oil, and it's like, I know where to get the oil at. I knew I was even supposed to have it, but I didn't do it. That's that weeping and gnashing of teeth you're going to suffer. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Wait, let's give me one more. Give me Deuteronomy 29, 19, and 20. I'm going to talk about a couple of brothers that we had here that was with us. All right, I'm going to tell y'all some true stories, true counsel, everything right here in a second. Give me Deuteronomy 29, 19, and 20.
It's one of my favorite verses, officer.
Listen, we had a couple of brothers here, newer brothers. if you was to go to their Facebook page and look at their pictures, you would think these the hardest Negroes out there. When I mean hard, like you would think, man, they super in this truth. They got the strongest stance and shalom, the most powerful shaloms and all this. And when you look at their pictures and say, like, man, these brothers some real fact. They gotta be in the spirit, some real factors.
Yeah.
But guess what? Couldn't stop smoking weed. Couldn't stop fornicating. Was granted mercy. Watch this. Read that scripture.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 19. And it shall come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that if he bless himself in his heart.
Meaning he's saying it's on my, I'm going to do it my way. They don't know. I'll fix it. I got time.
Saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart.
That's an imagination of your own heart. I can do it my way. I'll be okay. It's all good. I don't have to listen to what they're saying. Oh, okay, I'll work on it. But as soon as you get home, you're doing your own thing. Imagination of your own heart. Come on.
To add drunkenness to thirst.
So they adding drunkenness to thirst. So they drinking. Now you want to get high. And then when you get high, now, hey, shorty over there, she been, let me go ahead and come through now. Because you've been drinking, you're high, you're not in your right mind, you're not sober. So now you just adding sin to sin, making worse and worse decisions. When you should have corrected that when you was told, hey, let me fix this right here. See, it was a thing when I was growing up where they say marijuana is the gateway drug. I don't know if they still say that now. Meaning you do marijuana, you do weed, and then as you get high, it's like, you know what? This high ain't high enough. I need something that's going to take me over the top again. I need to add alcohol to it. I need to add women to it now because I need to feel a certain feeling. Come on.
Verse 20. The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man.
Shall do what? Read that scripture again.
The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man.
See, the Lord saying, okay, since you want to light that blunt up, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to light you up. Okay.
Hey,
keep lighting that thing up.
Flammable too.
So what?
I said them fringes
fringes are very flammable. You wear those fringes, but you ain't made no changes. Oh, Lord, okay. Just tinder. It lights you up too. Since you like smoke so much. And see, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you why a lot of men smoke. A lot of sisters smoke too in this that's in this truth that do it. I'm going to tell you why. They'll use every excuse. Oh, I need it for my cataracts, my eyes, or I need it for this, or I need all these. They'll come up with everything because they want to stay in that sin. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and go to verse 43.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 43.
This is the why a lot of y'all be smoking that do smoke. Come on.
The stranger that is
within
we know
thee. During 28, these are the curses right here. The curses that we're upon, that's going to be upon us till the Lord return. This is why a lot of y'all smoke, but y'all don't think. Come on.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
He going to be above you. He going to be very high. It's good to be Esau right now in this kingdom. He lives in the best places, the best jobs, everything else.
And thou shalt come down very low.
Where?
Very low.
When you in a low estate and you don't like reality where you at, I come home, I'm in the projects. There's crime. There's all this around me. I can't get a good job. And it can bring on stress, depression, all that type of stuff if you don't know where to turn to. And because you're in this low estate, what do you want to do? I want to get high.
Right.
That's why a lot of y'all get high. Because you're in a low estate and you're turning to the wrong medicine. You're self-medicating when you should be turning to this. Nothing will get you higher than this right here. Nothing gets me higher than to read Esau's judgment that's coming. I know what they can do to me at my job, at work, here in the world, whatever. They're in complete control. But I know your future. But more importantly, I know mine. Nothing gets me higher than this. This is my weed, man.
Right.
Okay.
Officer, I was telling a brother the other day, I was like, man, when I get out the spirit sometimes, 'cause it happens, you just tripping or whatever. When I got the spirit sometimes, I gotta put on a class, I put on Clubhouse, I put on something, and it puts me right back in that spirit to where I'm like, dun 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 dun, let's go.
It puts a battery in your back.
Yeah, hell yeah, it does.
See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. See, smoking weed and fornicating, those are the type of sins where you say F you to God multiple times to get to that sin. Let me tell you something. You smoking weed, the thought comes in your head. I'm not going to say for those that did that before the truth, I'm not going to say the thought never may come back to your head, whatever. It may, but that's where you got to squash it. So the thought comes in your head, I want to get high, man. It's been a bad day, a rough day, or whatever it is. You have to decide to say, you know what? I want to get high. Let me call the weed man. There's an opportunity right there for you to stop, but you didn't. So you picked up the phone and you called the weed man. All right? You had a way of escaping. You just delete his number. Don't have the weed man number in your phone. But you kept it. You made provisions for the flesh. So you could have stopped yourself there. So what you said is, F you, God, I'm calling the weed man. Then when you get to the weed man, you got to pay him. You got to go to the ATM or this, that, because, I don't think they taking cards.
They got
weed man got a little swiper on his phone. So you got to get some cash. Then you got to go to the store and you got to buy the stuff to roll it up with.
Then you got to have a lighter. Roll it. You have to sit down. You have to sit down and roll it. And
you got to roll it.
Or pack it, however it is.
And then you got to actually light it. So all these different steps to get to the lighting that blunt up. Step after step after step, you could have stopped. But each step you said, F you, God. F you. F this Bible. F it, all the way till you lit it up.
Hey, what was said the other day? You sitting there smoking right in front of your Bible, looking at your Bible with the blunt in your hand.
Bible right there in front of you. Fringes on your shirt and everything while you dealing with the weed. You go to the weed man. Hey, weed man, this is Baruch. This is I'm just throwing a name out there. Yeah, this is Baruch. Yeah, Baruch. My phone says Andrew Jenkins.
Right.
What you want, Baruch? I need a dime bag. Okay, well, meet me over here. Damn. Weed man, know your name.
You show up in the fridges. He like, yo, what the hell are those on your shirt?
Didn't I see you on the out there in camp, whatever, blah blah. You gave me a flyer, didn't you? You got the type of relationship with the weed man.
Most of the time, and then when that person actually get high, they can't even enjoy the high because they thinking. In some cases, I've heard brothers that do it. They can't even enjoy the high
because of the guilt,
because of the guilt, the shame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't even enjoy it. Weed men know your name, so you saying F you all those. And same thing with fornication. You got to have that girl's number in your phone because see, a woman or a man ain't falling off the sky into your lap. So you got to have that number. You got to call. You got to set something up. You got to come by. You got to get the Bible, all that type of stuff. You got to go hide that under the bed. All that, you got the 10 Commandments poster in your house and all, or your apartment. All that stuff. You taking it down. Everything else when they come over. God forbid you're not doing it up under that stuff.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All these different steps from calling, making arrangements, and this and that,
buying the condoms,
and if they even buying protection, probably not. Doing all that right there, and it's not like you just, hey, come over to my house, right? No, you have to know this person. You have to, invest a little time into them to get them to the point where they want to come. All these steps along the way. F you, F you, F you. You just pouring your oil out. I'm not getting my oil yet. They don't know. Brother, getting high and stuff in our camp. Told him multiple times, he was new, a few months in and stuff like that. He was new, and after a while, couldn't reach him no more. But you look at his pictures on Facebook, man, you would say this brother out there, he got to be strong. Another brother, same thing. This brother comes to me and confesses that he was fornicating and getting high.
Yep.
He was granted some mercy. His counsel, he was granted some mercy. He's so new. Let me tell you what the brother told me. You know what the brother said.
Yeah, I do.
The brother, I never heard this. This this was a new one. The brother, it's not funny. The brother tells me, yeah, I laid down with her. I'm going to go ahead and do the backdoor marriage. I'm like,
yeah, I was a little perplexed.
I was like, okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. He was saying that he planned to do the backdoor marriage because he thought that was an option. He thought like you can either do it the right way, you do that. Either way, it's not nothing wrong with that. So I tell him, I said, you do realize a backdoor marriage, that's a shame. Like that's wrong. You're forced into marrying because you laid down, you went out of order. You do realize that you don't actively pursue a backdoor marriage. He was pursuing a backdoor marriage. Corrected the brother, and he was like, "Oh, I wasn't quite sure on that." Okay. He was granted some mercy. Yeah. He was new. A couple months later, he lets us know, yeah, I was laying down with another woman, still getting high. Now dig this. He was like, I got her pregnant. This is his 8th child by his 8th baby mama. You can't make this stuff up, man. We have been warning. Have you talked to him?
I've talked to him.
I've talked to him. You, officer?
Yeah, he's talked to him.
All of us
to him. Yes,
counsel him. Bruh, listen, you're doing things out of order. Fix it. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to work on this. I got it. This. We work with them throughout the week. And while we're working with him, while he's saying shalom, this and the third, as soon as he hung up the phone with us, he's banging some chicks.
It was
getting
for
high.
like the last about 6 months, 5-6 months, right, Officer Isaiah?
Doing this behind our back. But it got revealed, brother's out. These are the things that when you don't correct the original sin, I need to fix the fact that I can't stop smoking. I got no self-control. That led to drinking. That led to, you know what? I'm already high. I'm already drunk. You're not in your right mind. Shorty been trying to come through. You let her come through. And you doing this. Now you got her pregnant. Ain't bringing no oil. But when you think, that's just weed. I'm just getting high. It's of the earth. You know what I'm saying? It's an herb. No big deal.
So is cocaine.
I'm telling you, it's a gateway to just adding sin to sin to sin. You're not fixing the problem. What is triggering you to make you want to get high? That is what you need to be fixing. Because that weed just mask it temporarily. There's sin there that you got to fix. There's an issue there that you got to fix. That the watchman's telling you, work on this, fix this. But you're not doing it. Let's go to Ezekiel 34, 31.
You want to go back to Deuteronomy 29, verse 20?
Okay, finish 20.
Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 20. The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in the book shall lie upon him.
Keep going.
And the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven.
Where at?
From under heaven.
You're not making it to the kingdom. So since you like to smoke, the Lord going to smoke you. And you don't want to be smoked by the Lord. You don't want to be smoked by him. That's not bringing no oil. That's that weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right? That's that weeping and gnashing of teeth. That very brother, if he don't repent, I'm not saying it's not bad. That's between him and if that brother don't get it right, he's going to be one that's weeping with the gnashing. Like, I knew I was supposed to bring oil. I came. I was showing up. I was doing this. I didn't bring no oil. I knew I was supposed to. That's a hard death right there. That's a hard punishment to know that you could have avoided that. So I'm praying and hoping that y'all that's listening and watching this class, if there's secret sins or things that you're doing and you've been corrected and you know it's wrong, that you take this time to fix it now. Otherwise, you ain't going to have no oil. And it's going to be too late for you because you're going to get comfortable in those sins. Give me Ezekiel 34, 31. To the men, and sisters, well, I say sisters, but in this case, to the men that's getting high, you have to understand something. Go to Ezekiel 34, 31. Watch this.
Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture are men.
Are what?
Are men.
The Lord is looking for men, not boys that can't control themselves, that can't keep their Johnson in their pants, not boys who can't control themselves where they keep getting high or drunk or dealing with things in this world. The Lord's not looking for that. He's looking for men. At some point, you got to grow up and say, look, I'm going to be a man now. I love that song from Captain Hoshea. I'm a man now. It's an old original song. I love that song. If y'all never heard that song, y'all got to hear that song. Maybe we can play it on the way out. Captain Hoshea, I'm a man now. But we got to be men. Control yourself. I know it could be hard in the beginning, but set a standard for yourself. I'm not going to fall into this no more. I used to do that. but not no more. That's why I love that marching thing that I used to do this, but not no more. Some of us used to sell drugs, but not no more. Some of us used to be in gangs, but not no more. Some of us used to be fornicators, but not no more. That's where we got to be at. That's your goal for yourself. Give me 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child.
When I was a child, or a young man, I used to get high is what you should insert there in your mind. Come on.
I understood as a child.
I thought it was cool to get high.
I thought as a child.
Thought that was cool. I thought everything is all great,
But when I became a man,
Once I repented and came into this truth and I became a man,
I put away childish things.
I put away that weed. I put away that fornication. I put away that whatever sin that you're in. Once you become a man, when are you going to become a man? Or are you going to stay in that sin? You going to die in that sin? You're not going to bring no oil? That's the way you're setting yourself up, to not have any oil. You're setting yourself up to be weeping, crying, and gnashing your teeth. You're setting yourself up for that because you can't put away childish things. And that goes for the sisters too. There's things that y'all do, and I'm going to touch on that if I have time. You got to put away these childish things. Give me 1 Corinthians 3:16. All praises, all praises.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye therefore that ye are the temple of God?
You have to understand, you lighten up weed and you fornicate and everything else, you're the temple of God. Come on.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
Man, the Spirit of God dwells in you. And that's how you want to represent the Lord? By getting high, calling up the weed, man? Or going to a dispensary now, or growing it yourself? That's how you want to represent the Lord? That's how you want the temple to be? You want the temple of Jerusalem to have weed plants in the corner and stuff, huh?
Dang.
That's what you want? That's your idea of being changed, being a man of the Lord? Come on.
If any man defile the temple of
If who?
God.
If who?
If any man.
Put weed plants in the, and you know what? I'm going to plant some weed seeds around the temple, around the garden.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That's your idea? Come on.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
Who?
Him shall God destroy.
God going to destroy you because you defiling the temple. You coming up with every excuse I can to keep getting high. Oh, it's legal where I live. Oh, it's of the earth. It's natural. There's a lot of things that's natural that'll kill you.
Hell yeah. You gonna smoke poison ivy? That's natural.
Come on.
For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
Which we what?
Which temple ye are.
That's your idea of a holy temple, filled up with smoke, filled up with, and different intoxicants. That's the way the temple's supposed to be. You want new people coming into the temple where they can't see smoke and stuff all in the way?
Dang.
That's what you want the temple to be? That's the way you want to represent it? Come on.
Let no man deceive himself.
You deceiving yourself, bruh. Thinking you're going to get away with it. Come on.
If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise.
You're just going to be a fool. You want to stay doing stuff like that. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 16:12. Because it's of the earth. I need to do this. It helps me unwind, helps me to relax. Okay. The Lord going to relax that. I ain't going to say it. Wisdom of Solomon 16:12.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 16 verse 12. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster.
It was neither what?
Neither herb nor mollifying plaster.
So no, I'm not saying it's impossible. There's things in there. Maybe it is some stuff in there that have some medicinal purposes, but not the part that gets you high. I'm not sure about the CBD and different things like that. I haven't really researched it too much, but it's not going to be the herb or mollifying plaster that what?
That restored them to health.
That's going to restore you to get you in your right mind, to get you healthy.
But thy word, O Lord.
You need to be returning to the word of the Lord. What do I need to do to fix myself? Like I say, nothing gets me higher than this. This is a high that you won't come down from. If you really want to get high, light this up. Let me
Put this in your pipe.
don't literally light it up. Don't literally light it up. What I meant by that is read it. It'll get you high. Read and apply it. It'll get you high. It'll get you closer to the Lord. I got it. Yeah, I got to be plain. You're right, officer. You're right. Give me Sirach 30. Did you finish that?
No, sir.
Okay, come on.
But thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things.
You see that? The word of the Lord will heal all things. Give me Sirach 32:17.
Also, and the thing about weed, the big thing about weed is it opens up people's inhibitions to other sins.
Yes.
I think that's what you meant when you said
Yes.
gateway drug.
It's a gateway, yes.
To open you up, because most of the time the brother don't stop with smoking weed.
No.
He'll get high and then he'll get drunk and then he doing fornication and then he doing something else.
Yes.
It
And
literally
then he tried to
happens
hide
in
the sin.
Try to hide the sin.
And he tried to hide the sin.
It literally happens in that order.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, I mean, I already did one. I mean, I might as well.
I'm already here. I might as well
I'm
get my
already
money's
here.
worth. I got to get my money's worth.
Right. You're going to add sin to sin. That's
Yeah,
all
I'm
you gonna
already
do.
in trouble, so let me get my money's worth.
Dang.
Let me triple, double, quadruple down on it.
You're going to get them wages.
Come on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 17. A sinful man.
A what?
A sinful man.
A sinful man.
will,
Let's see if that sinful man's bringing any oil.
will not be reproved.
Won't be corrected. When you tell him, bruh, stop getting hot, well, and his mind is, well, it's natural. It's of the earth. It's no big deal. They used to light up the incense in the temple. Well, I'm just going to light this up.
I was thinking that too. I was like, they going to say that. I know they going to say that.
The Negro thinks like that. Uh-huh.
But findeth an excuse.
Say what?
An excuse
They'll find an excuse
according to his will.
so he can keep smoking that. It ain't that big of a deal. Give me Job 38:3. Biblical smoke. Yeah, get high off of biblical smoke.
The book of Job, chapter 38 and verse 3. Gird up now thy loins.
Do what?
Gird up now thy loins like a man.
Like a what?
Like a man.
Hey, you got to gird up your loins. I know you used to do that in the world. I know it's a habit that you had. Maybe you've been doing it ever since you was a little teenager. But you have to gird up your loins like what?
Like a man.
And let that stuff go. You got to let it go. You got to find a way to say, you know what? This is stopping me from bringing oil. I got to have oil if I want to make it to the kingdom. So I got to fix this thing. Otherwise, you're going to be out there weeping with gnashing of teeth, asking others, hey, man, help me now. Help me now. Let me get some. No, bro, I got enough for me. You go get the men that you was listening to, go to the weed man and get your oil.
Hey,
See if he got something for you.
Hey, that's like the scripture you've been going over quite a bit in Titus, where it says, listen, we're going to dedicate ourselves to faithful men.
Yes. No, that's Timothy, I believe.
Timothy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Second
Timothy 2. Yes.
2 and 2.
But you were saying, hey, we're going to dedicate
Don't
ourselves.
me wrong scriptures and stuff.
My bad. I apologize.
They're going to be like, man, officer teaching them wrong stuff. You know?
No, but we're going to dedicate ourselves to the faithful men.
Faithful men.
The men that really want to do this. If you come in, just because now you in a pickle, it's like, nah, bro, you should have been around here doing this. Mm-hmm. Let's see what you got first.
Don't take this for granted. Give me Amos 8:11 through 13. I'm not going to be able to finish this, y'all.
The book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but
you're reading that wrong. Read it from the top.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
See, right now, you can hear the word of the Lord freely. We got classes nonstop. You can go to the school. But a lot of people forgot just not too long ago when C-19 hit, schools was closed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of people was trying to join and come in. I bet you all the schools in IUIC saw their, numbers increase dramatically during C-19. I know we did here. We doubled. you know.
it's crazy.
But guess what? We had so many people that want to come, we want to gather, and they understood, hey, C-19, we can't gather right now, the laws, so forth and so on. But you know one thing, officer, we talked about this. There was a lot of people that was on the fence that would come here or there and, you know, okay, whatever. I'll come. I remember one sister, 3 weeks in a row, I'm coming this week, never showed up. C-19 hit and the school closed, begging us, I need to come. Can y'all let me in? I see y'all doing classes online. It was like, can't let you in. You know, school closed. She was getting mad. Remember, she got mad because we wouldn't let her in. It was a famine. That was just the Lord just sent us a little dose of it. But listen, it's going to get worse than that. All this oil that's been poured on you, and we telling you where to get the oil and everything else, it's going to come to a point where it's like, I remember them talking. Man, YouTube done shut them. We can't even find them on internet. And you ain't going to be able to get it. It's going to be a famine. That's why it's so important for you to make your preparations now and get your oil now and keep your oil. Not just get it and start, you know what, I got this oil in the house. Let me go and cook with it. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you burnt up your oil. You got to get that oil and keep it, maintain it. Right now, it's going out freely. But it ain't always going to be this way. The Lord says there's going to be a famine at some point, and all of us can relate to what happened when C-19 hit, how hard it was. Like, you couldn't go to the schools. Read on.
Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north, even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it.
But you won't be able to find it. When the Lord come, and it's like, I know I'm supposed to get oil. Where do I get oil from? TD Jakes, you got any? He's like, no, I ain't got none. Creflo, you got? No, I ain't got none. At that point, it's too late because you want to get your oil from there. You don't want to get it from here. You don't want to really make no changes. See, it's real. The reason why those mega churches have that many people is because they're not forced to make no changes. They're never uncomfortable. When like Captain Amaziah was here this past week, Captain Hannah and I as well, Captain Zab, the whole time that they were there, they were giving me things to work on. You could do this better. You do this, do that, blah, blah. Some people could get in their feelings. Well, I thought I was doing a good job. Not say that we weren't, but I'm just saying they see things for us to do better. So when you see that, you're supposed to say, okay, look, let me apply this thing. Let me fill up my oil jar. Let me fill it up. Keep working on that. Because I know there may come a point where I won't have access to them like that. Who knows? Because the famine is not just for people on the outside. We're going to want to get it too, but that's why we got to take good notes. So when we can't access it, we don't have access to the bishop, the deacons, the captains. We have our notes. We've already been working on this so we can still teach our families and apply what we've learned. Right. Because the famine is going to hit everybody. The famine, the thirst, wanting understanding. Read on. Verse
13. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst.
Because you're going to be, you want it. But you're not going to be able to find it because you didn't take notes, you didn't prepare, you didn't do anything. Now you stuck. And guess what? That's where the weeping and gnashing of teeth come in at. All right? Now let's go to Proverbs 31 and 17. So I dealt with the men not having oil. Let's see if I can touch with the women a little bit. I don't have a lot of time, so I got to wrap this up here pretty soon. So let's go to Proverbs 31. You women, you're not off the hook either.
Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 17. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms.
Read it again.
She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms.
Hold on a second. Let me see.
Yes, sir. So what the officer's going over, this is a heavy class because all the stuff that comes out, you know, we always tell people, hey, take notes, read your 4 chapters a day, tune in, this and that. And if you're not doing those things, that's the oil that you're letting pass by. So you always want to be getting as much as you possibly can and following the counsel.
That's correct. Read it again.
Verse 17. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms.
So sisters, y'all got to gird up your loins too. When the correction come out, don't be like, why you always getting on the women? The men do it too, or this or that. No, you got to gird up your loins. Say, you know what? The requirements is not just for the men; they're for the women too. Women, y'all got to be doers of the word, not just hearers as well. So you're gonna have to gird up yourself. Give me Isaiah 32 and 9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up.
Do what?
Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
See, a lot of y'all sisters are at ease. You know, because, you know, you think, well, I just got to put on the dress or the skirt, come on the Sabbath day, say shalom and everything else, and life's good. I don't have to go to camp like the men. I'm not passing out flyers like the men. You know, I'm not out there putting my life on the line like that. Like that. It can be very easy for some of y'all sisters, especially some of y'all sisters that are married. You know, husbands are doing good. You go home to a nice big house. Refrigerator's always full of food. You got air conditioned heat that you could, you know, raise up and down whenever you want. Nice big comfortable beds and decorate. And then life can be easy for some of y'all sisters in this truth. And you can be at ease, but the Lord is saying to what?
Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters.
Don't be careless and get comfortable and think, well, I'm just, you know, I just do this right here. No, there's things that you got to work on and better yourself as well.
Give ear unto my speech.
Better give ear to this, because the last thing y'all sisters want to do is get up to that, you know, when the Lord come and see your Lord walk to the gate and he be like, oh, no, you out here. You're not coming in. You didn't bring no oil. You thought you was going to get in off his oil? No. He's got olive oil. You bringing Crisco. You bringing hair grease.
Dang. Holy dang.
Oh, you got his hair grease.
Dang, you got the old school blue hair grease. Remember that? The blue one?
I think it was like Blue Magic or something like that. Yeah, you bringing Blue Magic. That ain't going to work.
Dang.
All I got is just hair grease, Lord. No, that ain't going to work.
It's going to be sizzling on that head.
So y'all sisters got to rise up. Give me 1 Peter 1 and 13 through 16.
1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. As obedient children.
We have to all be obedient, sisters. That's you too.
Not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance.
Yeah, because ignorantly you guys did things and thought, okay, I can get away with it. Because right now you sisters can talk to us any kind of way. You can do what you want to do. You can call the law and all that type of stuff. Esau put y'all in a position where y'all think y'all in a position of power, but you're not. Come on.
But as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
All manner of conversation, how you speak. A lot of y'all sisters have an issue with how you speak to men, calling them bands and stuff.
Ooh.
And different things like that. Some of you call your own husbands that, you know, things like that. Y'all got to be careful how you speak. Come on.
Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy.
Sisters, y'all got to be holy just like the men is striving to be holy. And we have to be holy because the Lord is holy. Give me Numbers 12. We're going to start at verse 1. So, sisters, I want y'all to watch this right here.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Let's just read this through.
Yes, sir. And Miriam and Aaron.
Who?
Miriam and Aaron.
Sisters, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Miriam and Aaron. Both of them. Not just Miriam, not just Aaron, but both of them. Come on.
Spake against Moses.
They did what?
They spake against Moses.
They running their mouth against Moses.
Because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said.
Because he was away from his people for 40 years. There was no Israelites around. Come on.
And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it.
So Miriam and Moses is running their mouth talking about the Lord don't only speak to Moses, he speak to us too. And Moses is wrong. Come on.
Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam.
Who?
Aaron and Miriam.
So he called Aaron and Miriam.
And they both came forth.
Both came forth.
And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream.
So he's saying, I want you to understand something. if there's a prophet, that's a great position to be a prophet of the Lord. He says, to my prophets, I speak to them in what?
In a vision, and will speak unto them in a dream.
That's great. The Lord speak to you in a vision and a dream. Like that's a step above. Like that's a cut above. Like you on the next level, because the Lord is sending you a message through these means. Come on.
Verse 7. My servant Moses,
But Moses, come on,
is not so.
He's not so. He's not an ordinary prophet. I don't speak to him in visions and dreams. Come on.
Who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
He says, I speak to Moses mouth to mouth, like how we talk. I speak to him like this. I don't be vague, or I don't send a dream that they got to figure out, or this. No, I speak to him clearly, plainly. Moses, do this. Moses, do that. Do, don't, whatever. I speak to him like that. That's a different level. Come on. So he's above your prophets, which is already a great position to be if you're a prophet. Moses is above that. Come on.
Even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold.
He says, no, I speak to him plainly, so he understands clearly everything that I say. Come on.
Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
He says, you know that Moses is on another level than y'all, and y'all have the nerve to speak about him. Like why wasn't you afraid to speak about Moses behind his back? You know I'm rocking with him. He mouth to mouth, I talk to him, and y'all got the nerve to talk about him? Come on.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them.
Who?
Against them.
Miriam?
Against them.
Against Aaron.
Against them.
Them, mean he was angry at both of them, Miriam and Aaron. The Lord was mad at both of them. Come on.
And he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam.
Who?
Miriam.
And Aaron?
Miriam.
What about Aaron?
Miriam.
What about Miriam?
Became leprous, white as snow.
Well, what happened to Aaron?
And Aaron looked.
Because when you go back up to verse, was it 9?
Verse 8.
8? Where he says, no, 9.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them.
Both of them?
Against them.
Okay, now drop down to where you was.
Verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam.
What about Aaron?
Became leprous.
So only Miriam.
Miriam became leprous. White as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam. And behold, she was leprous.
So he turned, look, she's leprous, white as snow. But nothing happened to Aaron there. Not to say men get a pass, because the Lord was definitely upset with Aaron too. But the Lord punished Miriam. Read on.
And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
The we, who's the we? Aaron and Miriam, but there was no punishment for Aaron right there. Which means men and went on a different level. But the Lord punished Miriam because of her big mouth. Talking about Moses. It's a heavier weight for some of you women. Why am I saying this? Because a lot of y'all women got big mouths and talk about your own husbands at the house. Now on the Sabbath day, you say shalom like you know everything. But then when you get home, you look at him like he's Andrew Jenkins. You don't see him as nothing else other than that. So you run in your mouth. You comfortable because you know, hey, we can't do nothing to you. You going to get away with it. And you comfortable talking to your Lord any kind of way. But understand something, sisters. When I went to Ezekiel 34:31, the Lord says the flock of his pasture, his leaders are what? Men. So the ordinary average man in this truth, do you think is just ordinary average? That's the man of the Lord right there you talking about. You talking about somebody that have access to the Lord that you don't have. That have understanding that you don't have. And let's read on, continue on with the punishment for Miriam.
Verse 12. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb.
So they're begging on her behalf, Lord, don't let her be like this. This is gonna be like, this is bad. Come on.
And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee.
I beg you, Lord, please heal her. She didn't know. She knew, but just work with her, Lord, please. Come on.
And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face.
Did what?
If her father had but spit in her face, should not she be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp for 7 days, and after that let her be received in again.
The Lord has said her father should have spit in her face because he knew that his daughter had these issues and didn't correct it. Her father should have corrected this big mouth. So a lot of y'all have little daughters and stuff and you laughing cute and think it's not. You should look at no, I'm cleaning this out of you right now. You got to be able to control your mouth. The Lord can't stand a big mouth, running your mouth woman. He can't stand that. You got to say it to the mic. They can't hear you.
Because it runs into the congregation.
Yes, it will.
If he not checking, if a brother's not checking his wife at home, when she get around the men of the Lord, she gonna be running her. She gonna talk to them the same way that she's talking to her husband.
And
home.
worse.
Or worse.
Yes. She gonna think I talk to you the way I talk to my, like I'm talking to you. No. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Now, let me tell you this, sisters. Y'all very lucky because I have a lot more for you, but the time, I can't go no further. So 2 more scriptures and I'm out. So sisters, y'all chew the cud on that. Y'all better watch y'all mouth because when you don't watch your mouth, you're not bringing no oil. And we know what happened to the people that don't have oil when the Lord returned. So if you got a big mouth, you talk to your husband any kind of way, you can't be corrected, can't nobody tell me nothing, you're not bringing no oil. And then right when the Lord comes, you're going to be saying, oh, wait a minute, I was going to work on that. You ain't getting oil from me at that point. It's too late. Give me Proverbs 21:20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 20. There is a treasure to be desired.
There's what?
There is a treasure to be desired.
Uh-huh.
And oil in the dwelling of the wise.
So the wise men and women, they have oil. There's a treasure in that. How and where did you get your oil from is what you should be asking. How can I get like you? What do I need to do? What corrections I need to make? That's what you should be asking. There's a treasure in that. Come on.
But a foolish man spendeth it up.
As a foolish man or woman spinneth it up, meaning that knowledge that was given to you, I take. You're not taking heed. I worry about it later. I'll fix it later. I'll work on it. It's not that big of a deal. I control my mouth. The Lord ain't gonna not let me get in because I can't control my mouth. It's not that I'll work on it. I got time. Nah, you spending up the oil that was given to you. You're not using. You're not saving. You're not storing it. Last scriptures, Romans 13:11.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to
now is what?
It is high time.
Meaning it's this, we can't wait no longer. It's high time. It's been time. You running late. You said you can put it off. No, it's time right now. It's high time. Come on.
To awake out of sleep.
You got to get up out that sleep you and thinking that you got time, that you could procrastinate. It's high time you get out of that mind state. Come on.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Come on, officer, read it right. Read it again.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Our salvation, the Christ is coming sooner than you can believe. He's going to crack that sky soon. We all know these are the last days. You see how evils are ramping up and you think you got time. I'll fix this later. No, it's high time you get it right now. Get your oil. Did you bring any? Are you burning your oil? Or are you saving and storing it and adding more oil to it? That's what you got to be focused on. With that, I pray y'all got something out of this lesson, out of this class. With that, like I said, I pray y'all got something out of this class. We're going to play Captain Hoshia's song, I'm a Man Now. This is I love this thing. You know, this is one of my favorite songs. This is an original. This is an older song. Some of y'all that haven't heard it, this will be your first time. I love this. So with that, shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
1 Kings chapter 2, verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. and keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
I got the law locked in my head. I keep the law just like I said. I ain't no zombie walking dead. I chose life like Moses said. I got the law locked in my head. I keep the law just like I said. I ain't no zombie walking dead. I chose life like Moses said. I'm a man now, shoot no put your hands down. I talk the talk, I walk the walk, I don't just stand around. I make things happen cause I keep God first. You think your job is some teaching about hard work. I'm an Israelite, that's right, I bring the truth out. No number y'all's laws come out this Hebrews mouth. No lie, I'ma die for the most high. And prophesy your how it shines, there's so high. You just wanna repent your sins, you wanna know why. The most high got the power to make your soul fry. Why you ride around town like you so fly? Or what for spirits going down, you better choose your side. Wake up, Israelites, wake up. Christ died for our sins and coming back to save us. Turn to Zion, repent in your prayers. Turn to Zion, repent in your prayers. I got the law locked in my head. I keep the law just like I said. I ain't no zombie walking dead. I chose life like Moses said. I got the law locked in my head. I keep the law just like I said. I ain't no zombie walking dead. I chose life like Moses said. I'm a man now, it's true, y'all has awakened me and graciously replaced deceit with a nationality. Y'all has awakened me to escape the beef fatality. There better be inside the beef false reality. One that's casualty and spiritual warfare. You say you feel your how it shot and get you warfare. I can't imagine what's gonna happen when our Lord's here. If I see the scenery, I be screaming, swing the sword down. Destroy her, y'all raise it. Blaze with the whore Babylon, the great witch. All the Israelite blood, she was made rich. So enslavement is the price she gonna pay with. I'm a man now, it's true, I know my purpose. Keep the law and let this life I live is worthless. I'm a man now, understand he curses. Y'all chastise who he love cause we his first pick. I got the law locked in my head. I keep the law just like I said. I ain't no zombie walking dead. I chose life like Moses said. I got the law locked in my head. I keep the law just like I said. I ain't no zombie walking dead. I chose life like Moses said.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.